Welcome to the Virtual Excel Academy.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. We are here at Virtual Excel Academy. We're here with you. Welcome. We're glad that you are here. We have today a special lesson on the abacus, where we are going to look at addition and subtraction with synthesis, having our very own hostess, Leanne Grillot, who is going to be instructing you today. Also with us, we have Charlotte Cushman, Paths to Literacy Manager from Perkins and Texas School for the Blind. And hi, I'm Cheryl. I'm a professor at Cal State University, Los Angeles. Hi, Charlotte.
Hi, everyone.
Hi, Leanne.
Hello, everyone.
And as you come into our room today, we would love to know, who are you? Where are you from? And I have a little bit of Leanne trivia for you. We're going to play two truths and a lie. So I'm going to tell you three things about Leanne, and I want you to see if you can find the ones that are true. Two of these things are true. One of them is a lie. Which ones do you think are true about Leanne? Number one, she teaches at Florida State University. Number two, she has played with Timberwolves. Or number three, she loves to skydive. See if you can tell us which ones are the truths about Leanne. Hello, Isabel from Colorado. Hello, Justin from Austin. Ryan, welcome from Delaware. Hello, San Mateo. Cody, 1 and 2 are true. Truth, 1 and 2 are true from Carrie, and she thinks that Leanne does not skydive. Cindy, welcome from the Tennessee School for the Blind. All right, Lelaine, she thinks that you teach at FSU and you skydive. Miriam says you don't skydive. Jasmine says you definitely play with wolves and you teach at FSU. Well, Leanne, you're gonna have to tell us about you. Which ones are true and which one is the lie?
I definitely teach at Florida State University. I teach students who are going to be teachers of the visually impaired and orientation mobility instructors. And I am also a person who has played with Timberwolves. There's a lovely site here in Florida that you can actually play with Timberwolves. I have never skydived, and actually I don't think I would ever want to. So welcome, everyone. I wanted to start this lesson off about the abacus with a little bit of setting numbers. Now, we set numbers in a different episode of our Excel Academy, but we're going to have to warm up our fingers a little bit and kind of get ready for using the abacus. And you do need to know a little bit about the abacus to be able to do this lesson. We're going to start with setting numbers. So the very first number we are going to set is we are going to set 17. Our abacus is oriented with the 5 beads at the top, the 1 bead's pushed all the way down to the bottom. The separation bar is empty at 0. In the ones column, we're going to set a 7, pushing the 5 bead down and the 2 1 beads up. And in the tens column, we're setting a 1. So we have set 17. So hopefully all of you have your abacus out and you are setting 17. If you don't have an abacus, you can actually download UAbacus or Know, K-N-O-W abacus. And those are ones that you can actually visually do for those people who are light dependent. You can use a visual abacus. So again, I've set 17. I'm done setting 17. I'm going to clear my abacus. That means I'm pushing all of the beads away from the separation bar. So it is clear again and it's set at 0. Now I want you to set 92. You're going to set 2 1 beads in the ones column, pushing up. You're going to move to the tens column and you're going to pinch all of the 1 beads and the 5 bead to the separation bar for 9 or 90. So we read our abacus, we can place our hands on the tens bar, we read a 9, move our fingers over, we read a 2. We've set 92. We're done setting 92. We're going to clear our abacus. Abacus is cleared, back at 0. Last number to set, 234. You can go either way setting. You can start with the ones and move across to the left to set, or you can jump right to the hundreds column and set the 2 in the hundreds column, the 3 in the tens column, and the 4 in the ones column, so that you have 234 set on your abacus. That's the one nice thing about the abacus, is we're often able to work either left to right or right to left. As long as you're consistent, you're going to do pretty good. So again, this was 234. We're going to clear the abacus. Now I have some questions for you. That was setting the abacus. I'm going to set a bigger number on the abacus. We've done little numbers. Now I want to do bigger numbers. So I'm going to set this up so all you're seeing is my bigger numbers. Okay, larger number, 8,902. So if you start in the thousands column and set 8, you're pushing the 5 bead down, 3 1 beads up for 8. In the hundreds column, you're pinching all of the beads together, the 5 and all the ones beads to the separation bar. In the tens column is a 0. That means no beads are touching the separation bar. And a 2 in the ones column, push 2 1 beads up. 8,902. Okay, clear your abacus, which means you're moving all the beads away from the separation bar. Let's see if we can go even larger. Let's try 32,569. So if we set it like we say it, we're going into the 10,000s column and setting the 3. Thousands column for the 2. We've got 32,000. Now we need to set 569. In the hundreds column, we set a 5 bead. Tens column, we push the 5 and a 1 bead together to the separation bar. And then a 9 in the ones column, we're pinching all of the beads to the separation bar, the 5 and all of the 1 beads. So we have 32,564. Long number. One more really big number. Clear your abacus. 201,047. So 201,047. So the 201, that's in the second set. So you can move your hand across the separation bar to the second dash mark to get oriented, or you could count over 6 columns. So I've moved to my second dash. I'm ready to set my 2 in the 100,000s. There's a 0 in the 10,000s, and then a 1 in the thousands. My finger's on the first dash now, so now I know I'm in the hundreds column. I'm putting 0 there. That means I'm moving no beads. Moving to the tens column and setting 4 beads up. And going to the ones column, pushing the 5 down and 2 1 beads up. 2,147. 2 zeros in there. We're going to clear that. And now what we're going to do is we're going to see what you remember about the abacus. I'm going to set a number on the abacus and see if you can tell me what number in the chat I set. Get ready. In the ones column, I pushed the 5 bead down and 4 1 beads up. What number did I set? I'm seeing a bunch of 9s in the chat. Nice job. I did set 9. I'm going to clear my 9, so I'm ready to set another number. Get ready. I pushed a 5 bead down in the tens column. In the ones column, I pushed a 5 bead down and 2 1 beads up. What number did I set? Lots of 57s. That 5 bead is in the tens column, means 5. And in the ones column is a 5, 6, 7. 5 bead plus 2 ones. Okay, I'm going to clear it. Get ready. Here's another one. In the hundreds column, I'm pushing 2 1 beads up. In the tens column, I didn't move any beads. In the ones column, I'm pushing a 5 bead down and a 1 bead up. I'm seeing lots of 206. Right, 206. Clearing my abacus. You ready? In the hundreds column, I'm pushing 1 bead up. In the tens column, I'm pushing 4 beads up. In the ones column, I'm pushing a 5 bead down and 4 1 beads up. Ooh, again, I'm seeing 149. 149. Nice job. Okay, I'm going to clear 149. Okay. In the hundreds column, I'm pushing a 5 bead down. In the tens column, I'm pushing a 5 bead down and 3 1 beads up. In the ones column, I'm pushing 1 1 bead up. You guys are correct. 581. 581. Okay, last one for reading. I've cleared my abacus. In the hundreds column, I'm pushing 3 1 beads up. In the tens column, I'm pushing 2 1 beads up. In the ones column, I didn't move any beads. I'm seeing 320, 320. Nice job. Okay, we've warmed up. What I'm going to share with you now is a little bit of vocabulary. We today are talking about synthesis. Big fancy word. Synthesis means patterns used to set or clear a number in a particular column when direct setting or clearing is not possible. I am hoping some of you have had practice with addition and subtraction. There was a little bit of it in an earlier lesson. Addition has special words when we talk about an addition problem. The numbers that we're adding are called addends. And when you add things together and get an answer, the answer is called a sum. So with 4 plus 1 equals 5, 4 is an addend and 1 is an addend. 5 is the sum. So we're going to do a little bit of addition today with synthesis. Some people use other words than synthesis, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with using a different word for synthesis. We're going to start with 4 plus 3. Now, I am sure everyone with us knows what 4 plus 3 is already. This is a great way to learn with the abacus because you already know the answer, and you'll be able to check your answer because you already know it. So let's try 4 plus 3. The very first thing you're going to do is you're going to set 4 in the ones column. You're going to push 4 beads up, just like you were setting other numbers. Now that you have 4 beads in the ones column, I want to add 3. Are there any 1 beads left in the ones column? Do any of you have any 1 beads left in the ones column? Nope, no 1 beads left. Do you have any beads left in the ones column that you can move to touch this separation bar? There's this 5 bead hanging out there. We're going to use this 5 bead. So I have 4 beads already set. I want to add 3. I don't have 3 beads, but I have 5. If I add 5, that's more than 3. How many more than 3 was it? It was 2 more than 3. So when I want to add 3 and I've got to move a 5 bead, I've got to take away 2 1 beads. So I have 4. I want to add 3. I'm going to add the 5 bead and push that down and move 2 1 beads away. Some people might talk about them as partners. The partner of 3 to make 5 is 2. So we know 4 plus 3 is 7. Did we get the right answer? I see a 5 bead and 2 1 beads. 7. I got the right answer. Okay, so we can clear that. Let's try the next problem. 3 plus 3. Let's set 3 on the abacus. Push 3 1 beads up. Okay, I want to add 3. I can't add 3. I only have 1 1 bead left. So I'm going to have to add the 5. I want to add 3, but I'm adding 5. How many too many is it? Do you guys remember what the partner of 3 is? It is 2. So 3 plus 3. Here's the first 3 on the abacus. I can't add 3. I'm going to add a 5 bead down and push away 2. Now you know 3 plus 3 is 6 already by heart. Check to see if your abacus is reading the right answer. Is it reading 6? I see a 5 bead pushed down and a 1 bead pushed up, and that's it. It's 6. So 3 plus 3 is 6. Clear your abacus. Let's try the next one. We're going to do 2 plus 3 equals 5. Set the 2, push it up to touch the separation bar. I need to add 3, but I've run out of 1 beads. What bead am I going to use? You're right, we're going to use this 5 bead. I want to add 3, I'm going to add 5. How many am I going to take away? 2. Okay, I move the 5 bead down, I take away 2 1 beads. I already know 2 plus 3 is 5. Do I have 5 set on my abacus? Did I do it correct? I did. I have a 5 on my abacus. Okay, clear your abacus. Let's try a couple more. Let's do 2 plus 4. Set 2 on your abacus. Now I've set 2. I want to add 4. Do I have enough 1 beads to add 4? Nope, I don't. I only have 2 left. But I have a 5 bead. I want to add 4, but I'm adding 5. How many too many is that? It's 1 too many. Okay, so I know I'm going to have to take away 1. I have 2 beads. I'm adding a 5 bead instead of 4 and take away 1. So 2 plus 4 equals 6. Do I have 6 set on my abacus? I have a 5 bead on top and 1 1 bead pushed. I have 6 set. So I wanted to do 4, and I used the 5 bead. So 4 and 1 are partners. 4 and 1 were partners. I wanted to do 4. That means I had to take away 1. Okay, let's clear that one. Let's try 3 plus 2. Move 3 1 beads up. And look, I want to add 2. I don't have enough 1 beads to use, so I'm going to have to use the 5 bead. I only want to add 2. If I'm using a 5 bead, How many too many is that? I only want to add 2. It's 3 too many. So I'm going to push the 5 bead down and take away 3. I know 3 plus 2 is 5. Check to see how I did. 5 is set on the abacus. I did it right. So these are ways to practice utilizing your 5 bead and moving just in that column and using this 5 bead exchange, the synthesis of 5. I'm going to try a little bit larger problem. Let's try 32 plus 64. Set 32 on your abacus, 3 in the tens column, 2 in the ones column. The nice thing about the abacus, it doesn't matter which direction you go. I'm going to start with the ones column. I want to add a 4 to the ones column. Can I add a 4 directly? No, I only have 2 1 beads left. So I'm going to need to add a 5 bead. How many do I take away then? I take 1 away, so I'm going to add a 5 and take away 1. I'm going to move to the tens column now. In the tens column, I need to add a 6. Can I add a 6 directly? Take my fingers, I'm going to check and see if I have this 5 bead. I do. I can push the 5 bead down and I can push a 1 bead up. A 5 and a 1, that's 6. So I could add that directly. I didn't have to do any exchanges. I just pushed the 5 down and the 1 up. And I've come up with the answer, 96. Okay, clear your abacus. Let's try one more like that. 44 plus 53. Okay, we're going to set 44 on our abacus. I'm going to start with the tens column this time, just because it doesn't matter, as long as you're in the correct column. In the tens column, I need to add 5. Can I add 5 directly to the tens column? Is there a 5 bead left for me to move? There is. I'm going to push that 5 bead down. I've added the 5 in the tens column. In the ones column, I need to add a 3. Can I add 3 directly in this ones column? Do I have 3 1 beads that I can move? I do not. I'm going to have to use this 5. I want to add 3, but I'm going to add 5. How many too many is it? It's 2 too many. Push the 5 bead down, take away 2 1 beads, and I come up with 97. We have been playing with that 5 bead an awful lot, but there's another exchange you need to know. There is a 10 exchange for you. So I'm going to clear my abacus. And we're going to see if you can do some 10 synthesis. So the first problem we're doing is 9 plus 7. I'm going to set a 9 in my ones column. I push the 5 down and all 4 1 beads up. And I want to add 7 to the ones column. Do I have enough beads to add 7 directly? Not at all. Pushed them all up, got none left. That means I need to use the tens column. The tens column. I want to add 7, but I'm going to add 10. How many too many is that? I want to add 7, but I'm going to add 10. How many too many is that? That is 3 too many. That means I have to take 3 away from my ones column if I'm going to move the tens bead. I'm going to push 1 tens bead up and take away 3 1s in the ones column. So I have a 1 in the tens column and a 6. I did that wrong. I did it right. My print is wrong. Ha ha. So my print is wrong. What is 9 plus 7? 16. My abacus is correct. My paper is wrong. That's what happens when you try to type math in Word. Doesn't like you very much. I was checking your addition. Maybe I was. Okay, clear your abacus. Ignore that one. That one is wrong. Here, I'll even mark it through my sheet here. This one is wrong. Okay, wrong. Okay, 7 plus 8. So I have 0 set on my abacus. I'm going to set 7. I've set 7 in the ones column. I want to add 8. I want to add 8 to my ones column, but I don't have enough beads. So I'm going to have to add a 10. I only wanted to add 8. How many too many is that? It's 2 too many. So I'm going to add a 10 in the tens column, and I'm going to take away 2 in the ones column. So now I have a 1 in the tens column and a 5 in the ones column. I have 15. 7 plus 8 is 15. Okay, clear your abacus. Okay, the next one is 6 plus 9. Set 6 in your ones column. You've got 6 set in your ones column. I want to add 9. I definitely don't have enough beads to add 9. So I'm going to add a 10. But how many too many is it? It's 1 too many. Okay, so I'm going to push up the 10 in the ones column, push up the 1 in the tens column. I'm going to take away 1 from the ones column. So I have a 1 bead set in the tens column, and now did I do my math poorly again? Isn't that funny? Okay, what is 6 plus 9? 6 plus 9 is 15. You're going to see my Word document is going to go out again to all of you with the correct answers with math. Here, I didn't think I needed to check my single digits. I did. Okay, 8 plus 8. Set an 8 on your abacus. I want to add 8 in my ones column, but I don't have enough beads. I'm going to add a 10 bead. How many too many? 2 too many. Push a 1 bead up in the tens column and take 2 beads away from the ones column. I have a 1 in the tens column set now and a 6 in the ones column, 16. You did it. You've done some 10 exchanges. So you've done 1 exchanges, 10 exchanges, and let's try a little bit bigger number with your 10 exchanges. How about 27 plus 68? Set 27 on your abacus. So you've got a 2 in the tens column and a 7 in the ones column. I want to add 68. Again, the nice thing is it doesn't matter which one you're doing. In the ones column, I want to add the 8. Can I add an 8 in the ones column? I can't. So I'm going to add a 10 in the tens column and take away 2. In the tens column, I need to add 2. Can I add 2 to the tens column? I only have 1 bead down here. So what am I going to do? I'm going to add a 5 bead and take away 3. Wait a minute, 2. This is what happens when you read the chat at the same time. Does not work, guys. I'm going to try that again by not reading the chat. I set 27. I'm going to add 68. Set an 8 in the ones column. I can't. I'm going to add a 10 and take away 2. Add a 6 in the tens column. Push the 5 down and the 1 up. I get 95. That's what happens when you bounce between 2 problems. Okay, we've got 95 set. I'm going to clear. So I have a question for you all. How do you feel so far about addition with synthesis? Is it, yes, I'm doing okay, so, or I'm not getting it yet? How are you doing? You're doing okay, so, still troubling. Got some yeses, got decent, got great, some so-sos. Okay, this takes practice. I'm going to talk a little bit about subtraction now. Subtraction has vocabulary, just like addition. It's got some really fancy words. It has a minuend and a subtrahend. A minuend is the large group of stuff that you're going to take away from. And the subtrahend is what you're taking away. So the minuend is a number from which the subtrahend is to be subtracted. And the subtrahend is a number that is to be subtracted from a minuend. When you get an answer, it's the difference. So the best way to think about it is minuend minus subtrahend equals difference. So in the problem 4 minus 3 equals 1, 4 is the minuend, 3 is the subtrahend, and 1 is the difference. Okay, so we're going to do a little bit of subtraction now. You're going to be able to use what you learned with addition though. Okay, the very first problem we're going to do is 7 minus 3. So in the ones column, I want you to set a 7. You have a 7 in the ones column. We need to take away 3 beads. We've got to move 3 beads away from this separation bar. But in the ones column, I only have 2 1 beads that I could take away. That's it. That's all I had. So I'm going to have to think of something else to do. I have a big 5 bead here, but I only want to take away 3. If I took 5 away, I'm taking away too many beads. So we think about how many too many are we taking away? I want to take away 3 beads, but I'm taking away 5. How many too many would I take away? I'm going to take 2 away. I'm going to put 2 back actually. I took too many away. So I want to subtract 3. I'm going to subtract 5 and put 2 back. I'm going to push the 5 bead away and push 2 1 beads up. So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 1 beads touching the separation bar. So I have 7 minus 3 is 4. We're going to do that again by taking away 3 with a different number. So clear your abacus and set a 6. Push the 5 bead down and the 1 bead up. I have 6 and I want to take away 3. I can't take away 3, but I can take away a 5. If I do that, how many do I have to put back? I have to put 2 back. I set 6, subtract 3. I can't subtract 3. I'm going to subtract the 5 bead and push 2 1 beads up. So 6 minus 3 is 3. And I have 3 set on my abacus. Let's try it again. Clear your abacus. Set 5. Now we're going to do 5 minus 3. Do I have 3 1 beads I can take away? I don't, but I have a 5 bead. I want to take a 3. away, but I've got to take a 5 away. What do I have to put back? I have to put back 2. So 5, I have to take away 3. I'm taking away 5 and putting 2 back. Now these are simple problems that you probably know the answer to. But before you get to bigger problems, you want to practice with simple ones so you understand the movement of the beats. Let's try a few more. We're going to do 5 minus 1. In the ones column, set a 5. Now I want to take away 1. I can't take away 1. I'm going to take away a 5. How many do I have to put back? I have to put 4 back. Take away 5, put 4 back. So I've got 4. 5 minus 1 is 4. Clear your abacus. Now I'm going to do 7 minus 3. Set 7 in the ones column. I want to take away 3. How do I take away 3? I'm going to have to take away the 5 and put 2 back. Take away 5, put 2 back. I've got 4. Clear the abacus. Last one. Setting a 5, and I want to take away 4. I can't take away 4, but I can take away a 5 and put 1 back. Take away the 5 and put 1 back. I've got 1 left on the abacus as my answer. Okay, we're going to go to a little bit harder problems, a little bit bigger problems, I should say. We've got 54 minus 22. Set 54 on your abacus. We're going to subtract 22. I'm going to start with the ones column, but it does not matter which column as long as you're in the correct column. I want to take 2 away from the ones column. I have enough beads that I can do that directly. I've taken 2 away. I've subtracted 2. In the tens column, I need to subtract 2, but there's no 1 beads for me to move. I'm going to have to subtract 5. How many do I put back? Great, Jasmine, you're right. I put 3 back. I'm going to push the 5 up and put 3 back, and I come up with 32. Let's try another one. Clear that and set 62 on your abacus. Set 62 on your abacus. I'm going to subtract 31. In the ones column, I want to subtract a 1. Easy, I just move it away. There's enough there. In the tens column, I need to subtract 3, but I don't have 3 1 beads. I have a 5. I want to subtract 3, but I'm going to subtract the 5 and put 2 back. I come up with 31. Clear your abacus. Let's try 2 more and then we'll get to harder ones, okay? Try 59 minus 45. Set 59 on your abacus. Want to subtract 45. I'm going to subtract the 5 first in the ones column. There's a 5 bead touching, so I'm just going to push it away. I've subtracted 5. In the tens column, I need to subtract 4. I don't have 4 1 beads. So I'm going to subtract the 5, and then what do? I subtract the 5 and I push 1 back up. So I've got a 1 in the tens column and a 4 in the ones column. I've got 14. Last one like this, 83 minus 41. Set 83 on your abacus. I need to subtract 41. In the ones column, I'm going to subtract 1. I have enough beads, I just push it away. In the tens column, I need to subtract 4, but I only have 3 1 beads, so I need to use the 5. I'm going to push the 5 bead away and push a 1 bead up. and I come up with 42. Now we were subtracting using the 5 bead. I'm going to clear my abacus, but we need to use the 10 bead as well. We are going to hop columns as well with this. And this might be what you hear a lot of people on paper doing is borrowing. It's a little bit different on an abacus, and that's okay. The first problem we're going to do is 16 minus 7. So set 16 on your abacus. I want to subtract 7 from the ones column right now. Do I have 7 beads in the ones column that I can take away? Do I have enough beads in the one column to just take 7 away? Do I have 5 and 2 1 beads? Nope. I'm going to have to go to the next column and use a 10. I'm going to have to subtract 10. But I only wanted to subtract 7. How many too many was that? I have 10, but I only want to subtract 7. How many too many? That's 3 too many. If you're a person who works well with partners, you're going to remember that the partner of 7 to make 10 is 3. 7 and 3 are partners. So I'm going to take away a 10 and put back 3 in the ones column. I took my 10 away, and in the ones column, I put 3 back. What do I have left? I have no beads left in the tens column, and I have 9 beads in the ones column. Clear your abacus. Let's try 15 minus 8. Set 15 on your abacus. A 1 in the tens column and a 5 in the ones column. In the ones column, I want to subtract 8. I want to subtract 8. Can I do that directly? Are there enough beads in the ones column? Nope. I'm going to have to subtract a 10. I wanted to subtract 8, but I'm subtracting a 10. How many too many is that? It's 2 too many. I'm going to have to put 2 back. So your partner of 8 to make a 10 is 2. 8 and 2 make 10. So I have 15. I want to subtract 10 in the ones column, or 8 in the ones column, and I can't. So I'm going to subtract a 10 in the tens column and push 2 back in the ones column. I have no beads left in my tens column, and I have 7 beads in my ones column. Okay, let's try another one like that. Let's try 18 minus 9. Clear your abacus. Set 18, a 1 in the tens column and an 8 in the ones column. I want to subtract 9 from the ones column. Do I have enough? Nope. I'm going to have to subtract a 10. But I only wanted to subtract a 9. How many too many is it? It's 1 too many. I'm going to have to push a 1 back in the ones column. I wanted to subtract a 9. I can't. I'm going to subtract a 10 and push 1 back in the ones column. So what is my answer? I have nothing left in the ones column, or in the tens column. I have 9 left in the ones column. My answer is 9. Clear your answer. The next one is 10 minus 5. Set 10 on your abacus. A 1 in the tens column and a 0 in the ones column. I want to subtract 5. There are no beads in my ones column whatsoever, so I'm going to have to subtract a 10. So what do you think the partner of 5 is to get to 10? The partner of 5 is 5. So I'm going to subtract a 10 in the tens column there, and in the ones column, I'm going to push the 5 bead down. Answer is 5. Clear that. Okay. Let's try a couple more like that. We're going to do 95 minus 68. Okay, set 95 on your abacus. Now I want to subtract 68. I'm a person who likes to go with the easiest first. So in this tens column, I have lots of beads and I need to subtract 6. So I'm going to subtract 6 because I've just found it's easier to do the easiest first. Okay, the tens column, I'm going to subtract the 6. I'm going to push a 5 away and a 1 away. Done. Did the 6. That was easy. In the tens column, I need to subtract an 8. I don't have enough beads. So I'm going to have to subtract a 10. How many do I put back? Yep, 2. I'm going to subtract a 10 and push 2 1 beads back up. So what is my answer? I have 2 beads left in the tens column and 8 beads in the ones column, so 27. Let's clear that. Let's set 86. 86. And we're going to subtract 58. Which do you think I should start with? Which would you start with? Would you start with subtracting the 50 first or subtracting the 8 first? Which would you subtract first? Which do you think? I think I'm going to start with subtracting the 50 first. So in the tens column, I'm going to subtract the 5 bead. Easy, there's a 5 bead, easy to do. In the ones column, I need to subtract an 8, and I don't have enough beads. So I'm going to subtract a 10 bead and push 2 back. Subtract a 10 bead, push 2 1 beads back. My answer is a 2 in the tens column and an 8 in the ones column, 28. I only got 2 problems left for us to do, and then we'll see if you guys have any questions. The next problem is 88 minus 69. Set 88. Now I need to subtract 69. I'm going to do the easy one first, which is the 60. So in the tens column, I'm pushing a 5 away and a 1 bead away. In the ones column, I want to subtract 9. I don't have enough beads, so I'm going to have to subtract a 10 bead. So I'm going to subtract a 10 bead and push 1 back in the ones column. So what do I have left? I have 1 bead in my tens column and 9 beads in my ones column, 19. Clear your abacus and let's do the last one. The last one is 90 minus 72. Set the 9 and a 0 in the ones column for 90. I'm going to subtract 72. In the tens column, I'm going to subtract the 7. Push a 5 bead away and 2 1 beads away. In the ones column, I need to subtract a 2, but I have no beads. What do you think the partner of 2 is to make 10? It's 8. You're right, it's 8. So I'm going to subtract a 10 and put 8 back. Subtract a 10 and push the 5 down and 3 1 beads up. So our answer is a 1 in the tens column and an 8 in the ones column, 18. And I will clear it. Those were my problems for the day. I wonder, as a bonus, does anyone out there remember what the 3 parts of a subtraction problem were? Do you remember those interesting words I said? Those 3 words for a subtraction problem. For those of you that don't remember, it was a minuend, a subtractand, and difference. Fancy, fancy words. Minuend, subtrahend, and difference. Did we have any questions that were coming through?
We have some questions from the teachers. I'm wondering, do any students have any questions?
Someone has a funny, they called it Greek, and English.
Well, let's go back to the teacher question then.
Okay.
One question is, do you recommend to use the abacus after the student understands the addition and subtraction process?
They should know the basics of addition and subtraction to be able to use the abacus. That's really one of the knowledge bases that they should have. They should definitely have the exchange of being able to do with the objects. Really, the abacus is for much higher complication problems than I just did, but the only way that you can really get some knowledge in is to start with these basic problems and then move harder and harder.
Thank you. And a number of teachers are saying this has been a good review. Are there any other questions? You can go ahead and put them in the chat if you have other questions. And while you're typing, just a reminder, this is available. The link is in the chat where you can find it along with all of our previous webinars. Looks like you answered all the questions then.
I answered all those questions. Practice, it was what really makes this work. The abacus is not something you just absorb. You got to practice to do it. And is there a resource like this for multiplication and division? I will say Paths to Literacy has great links for videos that teach a variety of it. This one I geared specifically towards students, so that's why it was a slow pace. It's not at all the speed I teach my college students, but again, this was meant for the pace for a student.
And I would add, I think on Paths to Literacy, the resources that are linked there are from Iowa and also from Texas School for the Blind. So look at both of those. What's a good time to introduce an abacus to a student?
An abacus for a student, they really have to have some understanding of numerical value. Now there is a beginner's abacus. I'll pop that on right now. There's a beginner, there's a 2-column and a 3-column abacus that does not have the exchange 5 beads, but has the correct number of beads per column. So that is sometimes a way to start before they're doing some addition and subtraction, which is really what synthesis is. Synthesis is using addition and subtraction, those basic skills. So you do have to think about it that way. They do have to have some numerical knowledge to use the Cranmer abacus with the 5 bead.
Well, thank you so much, Leanne. That was a really good review. We're having a lot of positive comments in the chat window about how it was a great review. They're ready to teach it to their second grader now. They're very thankful and appreciative for your clear directions and instructions on how to teach the abacus. So thank you for that. Would you mind taking a moment to announce summer camp coming up?
So we have summer camp getting ready for our students. Again, this is meant for our K-12 students or K-21 students who would like to have something to participate in similar to the Academy right now. It'll be 3 webinars based on your kind of age grade level on Tuesdays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, and then that'll be 2 different weeks that each grade group will have. And then also extension activities. Now as teachers, you're welcome to come on and observe, but again, the goal is to give something for students to be able to participate in. And we just reached out to connect with the instructors that were selected, and hopefully I'll hear from them, and we'll be posting information on APH's website soon.
Thank you so much. And I know that registration has begun and we have a group all ready to go for summer camp. So if you are also wanting to join us, please join us. This is again for students. And we're going to miss all of you. We're closing at the end of May with the virtual Excel Academy as it is right now and moving into this summer camp. So we do hope that you're able to join us. I feel like we've made a lot of friends and we see the same people every day. We thank you for your support and are just so glad you've been with us through all this time. Thank you again, Leanne. Thank you, Charlotte and Belinda, for your closed captioning. And we hope to see you tomorrow. Tomorrow's session will be Know Your Rights, How to Be a Self-Advocacy Superhero. And we're really excited to promote and feature the Interim Executive Director of AER. And this presentation will be with Mark Reichert and Rebecca Sheffield. So please join us tomorrow. It's going to be a great session. Hope to see you then. Thank you, everyone.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.